the authority that doesn't need to announce itself. The difference between seeking attention and deserving it is the key to true influence. A person who is genuinely powerful doesn't need to shout who they are or constantly seek applause. Their power is subtle and profound. It lies in their excellence. In a world where many compete for attention, the ones who stand out are those who simply are. They don't need to embellish their words or broadcast their successes at every turn. Their presence, their work, and their actions speak for themselves, sending a clear message. This is who I am, and I don't need to explain it. Luxury doesn't promote itself. You don't see exclusive brands begging for attention or powerful figures pleading for recognition. They simply create something so valuable and unique that the world wants to get closer. The same principle applies to people who master this skill. They don't desperately seek to be seen. They focus on becoming something worthy of being seen. This raises a crucial question. Are you investing your energy in getting attention or in becoming unforgettable? The difference is subtle, but it completely changes how the world sees you. When your focus is on authenticity, excellence, and a commitment to your growth, recognition comes naturally. At that point, you don't need to impress because your impact is already doing the work for you. Finally, we arrive at the most powerful key of all, your self-perception. No matter how many strategies you follow or how much presence you project, if you don't believe in your own worth deep down, it won't last. The way you see yourself shapes your energy, your decisions, and your interactions. If you see yourself as just one more option, the world will treat you as such. But if you recognize something valuable, unique, and irreplaceable within yourself, that conviction will show in every gesture and every word. It's impossible to fake. People can sense when someone is seeking validation, when they doubt themselves, or when they need approval to feel sufficient. But they can also clearly feel when someone naturally inhabits their own value without needing to justify or prove it. That is where true transformation happens, when you stop waiting to be chosen and start walking as if you already are the natural choice. It's not arrogance, it's clarity. It's not conceit, it's recognizing who you are and living in alignment with that truth. The people who inspire the most don't compete or beg for space. They simply exist from an inner strength cultivated with time, intention, and self-love. This energy is magnetic, the silent language of the body. This leads us to a silent but deeply revealing element, the mastery of nonverbal language. While many people focus only on what they say, those who truly leave a mark know that the way they move, look, and hold themselves communicates even more than words. The body speaks constantly. The way a person sits, walks, breathes, or holds a gaze builds a perception in the minds of those who observe them. A nervous gesture, a hunched posture, or disorganized movements can transmit insecurity, even if the words are strong. On the other hand, a firm posture, calm breathing, and smooth movements project confidence, presence, and self-control. What's fascinating is that this doesn't require theatrical effort. It's the result of an internal connection with yourself. When there is coherence between what you feel and what you express, your body reflects it naturally. This is where a serene presence is born, a presence that captures attention without seeking it, that leaves a lasting impression. Another profoundly attractive element, though rarely mentioned, is emotional independence. Many people, without realizing it, hand over their well-being to the judgment of others. Their mood rises or falls based on the attention they receive, the compliments they hear, or the recognition they get. While this may seem normal, this emotional dependence creates a fragility that is perceived and pushes people away. Conversely, those who radiate true worth do not allow their internal balance to be at the mercy of their environment. They don't seek constant approval or need to be accepted to feel valuable. They simply inhabit an inner peace that doesn't fluctuate with applause or crumble with criticism. An emotionally free person doesn't try to convince anyone or need to prove anything. It is precisely this stability that generates deep attraction because it projects a serene, genuine, and powerful self-sufficiency. It's not coldness, it's emotional autonomy. When someone lives from this place, they transmit a sense of security so strong that it's impossible not to notice them. Few people master this quality, but it completely transforms the way the world treats you. The ability to command respect from a place of calm. Many believe that to be respected they must impose their voice or demand recognition, but true respect is earned, not forced. And those who achieve it do so from a calm, firm, and consistent presence. They don't seek validation, they simply make it clear with their way of being that they will not accept less than what they deserve. They don't need to be in the center of attention to be noticed. They move in silence, but their energy speaks loudly, and that is enough. The key is knowing how to set boundaries with elegance, without confrontation or unnecessary explanations. They don't react. They simply walk away when something is out of tune with their values. Their distance is their response, and their consistency is their language. Because when someone deeply respects themselves, the world has no choice but to do the same. In addition to all of this, building an authentic and strong identity profoundly elevates the perception of high value. The most memorable people are not those who try to fit in everywhere, but those who dare to be themselves without filters or forced adaptations. They don't follow trends out of pressure or change their essence to please others. Instead, they create their own style, a way of expressing themselves that distinguishes them without explanation. The power of giving and authenticity. One of the most common mistakes is trying to please everyone. That not only drains you, but it also extinguishes the most valuable part of you. While some people focus on receiving, claiming attention, or demanding their place, others simply give something so valuable that the world cannot ignore it. They don't seek approval or insist on being recognized. They create, contribute, and build, and that is why they naturally become unforgettable. Just think of anyone who has left a real mark on history. They didn't ask for recognition. They earned it because they offered something that transcended the ordinary. This applies at every level of life. If your goal is to be seen as extraordinary, your focus should not be on what you receive, but on what you give. Authenticity can come at a price. The people who leave a mark are not afraid to be different. They are not interested in mass approval, but in being true to who they are, even if it makes some people uncomfortable. The most influential figures were not those who sought to be liked by everyone, but those who stood firm in their principles. Those who expressed their ideas clearly, even if they weren't popular. Those who walked with conviction, even if it meant going against the current. If you want to be seen as a person of high value, you must have the courage to be different. That is where true distinction begins. What elevates a person above the rest is their ability to give without expecting anything in return, to offer something genuine that speaks for itself. While some focus on receiving, on claiming attention, or on demanding their place, others simply give something so valuable that the world cannot ignore it. They don't seek approval or insist on being recognized. They create, contribute, and build, and that's why they naturally become unforgettable. You just have to think about anyone who has left a real mark on history. They didn't ask for recognition. They earned it because they offered something that transcended the common. This applies at all levels of life. If the goal is to be perceived as someone extraordinary, the focus should not be on what is received but on what is given. But there is something else that makes a big difference: knowing how to wait with intelligence. Many people get frustrated if they don't see immediate results. They abandon their projects or their very essence because they didn't get the recognition they expected in a short time. But those who understand how true value is built know that nothing that lasts is created overnight. An artist doesn't become a legend with a single work. A leader doesn't inspire with a single speech. A professional doesn't become an industry leader in a matter of weeks. All of that requires time, depth, and a vision that doesn't give up. And there is the difference. While some get desperate for quick results, others trust the process and keep moving forward with determination. They don't need immediate validation because they know their value will be revealed over time. So here is a truth that can't be ignored. If the goal is to be perceived as someone of high value, you must think big and act with consistency. It's not about impressing quickly, it's about building something so solid, so authentic, and so well made that over time it becomes a reference. And that is what truly distinguishes those who leave a mark. The journey of transformation. Finally, there is a trait that clearly distinguishes those who are perceived as unique: the ability to always be in transformation. People who settle for what they have already achieved and cling to an old version of themselves inevitably become predictable over time. They lose their freshness, presence, and impact. On the other hand, those who understand that growth is not a destination, but a constant path, always arouse interest, because to evolve is not just to change, it's to refine, renew, and expand. And that in any field is profoundly attractive. An artist who stops exploring new ideas, a leader who no longer challenges themselves, a person who gets comfortable in their safe zone, they all sooner or later lose the spark that made them shine. But those who reinvent themselves, who keep learning and aren't afraid to be uncomfortable in order to grow, maintain a genuine, irresistible, and vibrant presence. Because in the end, being perceived as someone of high value isn't about image, status, or appearances. It's about how you manage your energy, your time, your words, and especially your evolution. It is the way you inhabit your authenticity, how you cultivate your essence, and how you choose to move forward even when no one is watching. When a person embodies these principles, they don't need to explain themselves. They don't have to convince anyone of their worth, because their mere presence expresses everything. And that is the most powerful thing. When someone radiates that level of consciousness, clarity, and coherence, they leave an impression that is not forgotten. It's not a gesture, a phrase, or an isolated action. It is a subtle mix of decisions, habits, thoughts, and silences that intertwine to form something very difficult to define, but impossible to ignore. It is not about being liked by everyone, accumulating visible achievements, or seeking constant attention. It is about elevating your internal standard until it becomes impossible to ignore you. It's about walking through life with the calmness of someone who doesn't compete because they have already chosen their own worth. It's about being so faithful to your essence, so coherent with who you are, that everything else aligns. Becoming a person of high value is not a goal, it is a way of being in the world. It is deciding day after day not to betray yourself. It is speaking with intention, moving with purpose, and choosing with clarity. And when that happens, when you truly inhabit your power without noise, without rush, and without need, you don't need to stand out because you simply can no longer go unnoticed. So, are you ready to become that version of yourself that no longer needs to be recognized because it already shines with its own light? If this message resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe and leave a like so we can continue to grow together on this path of transformation. I send you a big hug from soul to soul, and remember, you carry within you a potential so great, so unique, that if you let it out, you will illuminate every place you pass through. Never forget, the world doesn't need more copies, it needs more of you in your most authentic version. The second part, the authentic self. Beyond the visible qualities of presence and calm, the most profound element of true value is an unwavering commitment to the authentic self. This is not about projecting a polished image, but about genuinely inhabiting who you are, with all your strengths and vulnerabilities. While many try to fit in by mimicking others, those who are truly unforgettable have the courage to be different. They don't seek mass approval, they seek self-alignment. This fearlessness to be different is what sets a person apart. The most influential people in history were not those who were universally loved, but those who were firm in their principles. They spoke their truth with clarity, even when it was unpopular. They walked with conviction, even when it meant going against the current. If you want to be perceived as someone of high value, you must have the courage to be different. This is where true distinction begins. The ability to give without expecting anything in return, to offer something genuine that speaks for itself, is what elevates you above the rest. While some focus on receiving attention or demanding their place, others simply give something so valuable that the world cannot ignore it. They don't seek approval, They create, contribute, and build. That's why they naturally become unforgettable. Think of anyone who has left a real mark on history. They didn't ask for recognition. They earned it by offering something that transcended the ordinary. This principle applies to all areas of life. The focus should be on what you give, not on what you receive. The power of patience. Another key element is knowing how to wait with intelligence. Many people get frustrated and give up when they don't see immediate results. They abandon projects or their own growth because the expected recognition doesn't come quickly. But those who understand true value know that nothing that endures is built overnight. A legend is not made with a single work, and an expert is not forged in a few weeks. Lasting value requires time, depth, and a vision that does not give up. The difference is clear. While some get desperate for quick results, others trust the process. They keep moving forward with purpose, knowing that their value will be revealed over time. So if you want to be seen as someone of high caliber, you must think big and act with consistency. It's not about impressing people quickly. It's about building something so solid, authentic, and well-made that it becomes a benchmark over time. That is what truly distinguishes those who leave a lasting mark. The journey of constant transformation. Finally, a truly unique trait is the ability to always be in transformation. People who settle and cling to an old version of themselves become predictable. They lose their freshness and impact. In contrast, those who see growth as a constant path always generate interest. Evolving is not just about changing, it's about refining, renewing, and expanding. And that in any area is deeply attractive. An artist who stops exploring new ideas, or a person who gets comfortable in their comfort zone, will eventually lose their sparkle. But those who reinvent themselves and are not afraid to be uncomfortable to grow, maintain a vibrant and irresistible presence. Because in the end, being perceived as someone of high value isn't about image or status. It's about how you manage your energy, your time, your words, and your evolution. It is how you inhabit your authenticity, cultivate your essence, and choose to move forward even when no one is watching. When you embody these principles, you don't need to explain yourself or convince anyone of your worth. Your mere presence says it all. When someone radiates that level of consciousness and clarity, they leave an unforgettable impression. It's not an isolated action. It's a subtle mix of decisions, habits, and thoughts that form something difficult to define, but impossible to ignore. It's not about being liked by everyone. It's about raising your internal standards until you become impossible to ignore. It's about walking through life with the calm of someone who doesn't compete because they have already chosen their own value. It's about being so faithful to your essence that everything else aligns. Becoming a person of high value isn't a destination. It's a way of being in the world. It's deciding every day not to betray yourself. It's speaking with intention, moving with purpose, and choosing with clarity. And when you truly inhabit your power, you won't need to stand out. You'll simply be unforgettable. Here is a third and final part of the text, maintaining the same themes and formatting with 5-line paragraphs. The third part, living your purpose beyond the strategies of presence and authenticity, lies the ultimate alignment, connecting with your life's purpose. This is not just a career or a goal. It's the authentic expression of who you are at your core, what gives your existence meaning and direction. When your vibration is high, your energy flows without blockages, making you feel more connected to yourself and to the universe. In this state, you can easily perceive what fills you with life and passion. The right opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere, and the people who can support you on your path arrive at the perfect time. Many people struggle to find their purpose because their vibration is wrapped in fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs. These blockages make them feel disconnected from their intuition, creating confusion and a feeling of being lost. In this state, opportunities feel out of reach, and life is perceived as a series of obstacles. However, the universe is always sending you signals to guide you. These signals are not coincidences. They are vibrational responses that reflect the frequency you are on. When you raise your vibration, your perception changes, and you begin to notice these signals with greater clarity. How does the universe show you your purpose? By listening to your intuition, that deep feeling that tells you if something is aligned with you or not. When you calm your mind and raise your energy, this inner voice becomes clearer and more accurate. Pay attention to what energizes you, what makes you lose track of time, and what you enjoy deeply. These things are usually aligned with your purpose. Observe synchronicity. Have you noticed that certain opportunities, ideas, or people seem to appear repeatedly in your life? These are not random coincidences. They are signs that the universe is guiding you towards something important. Reflect on the challenges you've overcome. Often our purpose is hidden in the most difficult lessons we have learned. Ask yourself, how could I use my experience to help others? What you have overcome can become the foundation of what you are meant to share with the world. Visualize your best version. Close your eyes and imagine what your life would be like if you lived in total alignment with who you really are. Feel the emotion of being in that state, and let that vibration guide your decisions. Your vibration and your purpose are reflections of each other. You don't need to look for your purpose outside, because it is already within you. You just need to raise your vibration enough to tune into it. When you align with what truly resonates with you, everything in your life begins to flow more easily, and what once seemed unattainable begins to manifest effortlessly. Your purpose is not a final destination, but a path of constant evolution. Every step you take in harmony with your essence brings you closer to a life full of meaning and expansion. Living with purpose not only raises your vibration, but also aligns you with the flow of the universe. When you express yourself from your true essence, everything around you begins to synchronize with your energy. Life stops feeling like a series of obstacles and becomes an authentic manifestation of who you really are. Your vibration is the very essence of your being, projecting itself into the immensity of the universe. It is like an energetic signature, a silent language that transcends words and communicates who you are on a vibrational level. You are not just a physical body, you are a pulsating network of light that expands with every breath. That network links you with the vast quantum field, where all possibilities already exist, waiting to be activated by the frequency you emanate. When you understand this, you realize that you don't need to chase anything. The only thing you must do is adjust your vibration to align with what is already available in the universe, ready to manifest in your life. When you radiate that level of consciousness, clarity, and coherence, you leave an impression that is not forgotten. It's not about being liked by everyone. It's about elevating your internal standard until it's impossible to ignore you. It's about walking through life with the calm of someone who doesn't compete, because they have already chosen their own worth. Becoming a person of high value is not a goal, it's a way of being in the world. It's deciding every day not to betray yourself. It's speaking with intention, moving with purpose, and choosing with clarity. When you truly inhabit your power, you don't need to stand out because you simply can't go unnoticed. Are you ready to become that version of you that doesn't need to be recognized because it already shines with its own light? The fourth part, the impact of your light. When you live in complete coherence with your essence, your energy is no longer just your own. It expands, touching the reality of those around you. You're like a lighthouse shining in the darkness, guiding others back home. Imagine your being is a musical instrument. When it's out of tune, its notes sound chaotic. But when you manage to tune it and play its purest note, its sound resonates perfectly and naturally. That vibration doesn't just transform the music you emit, it inspires other instruments to tune into the same frequency. This is how high vibration works. When you vibrate high, you encourage others to do the same. Without words, just with your presence. By vibrating with love, trust, and gratitude, you become a catalyst for collective evolution. Your energy isn't static. It expands like a wave in the ocean of universal consciousness. Every thought, every emotion, and every action born from an elevated vibration generates an impact in the quantum field, moving reality in an imperceptible but powerful way. The universe in its purest essence is a space of infinite abundance. Everything you have ever desired, dreamed, or imagined already exists as potential within that energetic field. Scarcity and separation are illusions created by low vibration. by the disconnection from that universal truth. You don't need to struggle or search desperately outside of yourself, because the act of receiving is not based on effort, but on synchronization. When your internal vibration aligns with what you long for, a natural flow is activated that transcends time and space. It's in that moment when the universe seems to conspire in your favor. Opportunities that once seemed unattainable begin to appear unexpectedly and perfectly, not because you forced anything, but because you learned to vibrate at the exact frequency of what you want to manifest. This process is not a technique. It's a constant reminder of who you are in your purest essence. You are a conscious creator, a spark of the infinite, a fragment of the whole that holds within it the power to transform any shadow into light. When you allow yourself to vibrate at your highest frequency, choosing love instead of fear, you are proclaiming your right to exist in fullness. You're recognizing that the beauty of life is not something external you have to achieve, but an experience that already resides within you, waiting to be expanded. Every choice you make, every thought you hold, and every emotion you cultivate are like notes in a universal symphony. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything you emit returns to you in the form of experience. When you choose to vibrate with love, gratitude, and compassion, you're not just tuning your own instrument, you're also contributing to the harmony of the great cosmic concert. Your vibration is your language, your energetic signature in the universe. It's the silent message you send to existence, the melody you play in the grand orchestra of creation. Thank you for listening, for feeling, and for choosing this moment to connect with yourself. Remember that, in the end, everything begins and ends with you. There is nothing outside of you that needs to be achieved, only the eternal truth that has always been waiting within you, ready to manifest in its highest expression. You carry within you a potential so great, so unique, that if you let it out, you will illuminate every place you pass through. Never forget, the world doesn't need more copies. It needs more of you in your most authentic version. As I mentioned, I can't generate that much text in a single response. However, I can offer you a continuation that merges the themes you requested into a single part, maintaining the same length and style as the previous texts. Here is what would be the fifth part, continuing the journey of personal power and self-mastery. Part 5. The dance of creation. True mastery isn't about accumulating knowledge. It's about the ability to live in a state of constant flow. This is a state where effort and resistance dissolve, and action feels as natural as breathing. It's the fifth key, the art of manifesting without forcing. Most people believe that to achieve something, they must struggle, push, and sacrifice their well-being. But those who have tuned their vibration to the universe's abundance understand that the fastest path to your goals is through alignment, not force. When your energy flows without blockages, you become a magnet for what you desire. This isn't about passively waiting, but about acting from a place of certainty and calm. It's the difference between pushing a river and simply flowing with its current. The universe has its own rhythms, its own laws of attraction. When you align with them, you stop swimming against the tide and start moving with it. And that's where synchronicity becomes your GPS. Your intuition sharpens, and perfect opportunities appear at the perfect moment, without effort. This is the beauty of flow. You become a channel for manifestation, not the source. You don't have to figure out every single step. Instead, you trust that the path will be revealed as you go. To master this key, you must learn to let go of control. You must release the need to know exactly how, when, and where your desire will manifest, and instead trust that if your vibration is high, the universe will take care of the details. This frees you to enjoy the journey, instead of living with the anxiety of the goal. It's a radical mindset shift that transforms your reality. 6. The resonance of gratitude. If vibration is the language of the universe, gratitude is the most powerful frequency for tuning into abundance. Being grateful isn't just about saying thanks for what you have, but about feeling a deep appreciation for every detail of your life, from your morning coffee to the roof over your head. It's an emotion that instantly elevates your energy and puts you in a state of receiving.
Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to fullness, and what you focus on expands. When you are genuinely grateful, you stop living in lack and begin to feel complete. And when you feel complete, the universe has the space to send you more of what you already have. Gratitude is an active creation tool. Practicing it daily not only improves your mood, but also sends a clear signal to the universe. I am ready to receive more. By making gratitude a habit, you become a magnet for more blessings. It's a confirmation that you trust life's process and that you recognize the magic that already exists in your reality.
Part 6. The Art of Generous Giving. While many focus on the silent language of being, the true culmination of high value is the mastery of giving. The people who are truly unforgettable are not those who demand attention, but those who are so focused on delivering something of value that the world cannot ignore them. This is the sixth key: the ability to give without expectation. While some are busy trying to prove their worth by receiving, the truly powerful understand that worth is proven by what you give. It is a fundamental shift from a mindset of scarcity, believing you must compete for resources, to a mindset of abundance, knowing that by contributing authentically, you open the floodgates of return. The most profound impact comes not from what you take, but from what you willingly offer to the world. It's the artist who creates for the sheer joy of it, the leader who inspires without seeking praise, the friend who offers support without counting the cost. Their energy is not a drain, it is a source. They become so valuable, so essential, that their absence is felt profoundly. They are not chasing success, they are the source of it, and the world naturally flocks to them. This principle extends far beyond material things. You can give your undivided attention, a moment of presence, or a word of genuine encouragement. These small acts of generosity, when done from a place of emotional fullness, build a powerful energetic field around you. They signal to the universe that you are a vessel of abundance, and the universe in turn conspires to fill that vessel. You don't need to fight for a seat at the table. You become the one who builds the table, who invites others to sit down and share in the feast. This is the difference between a person who is simply present and a person who is a gift to the world. When your focus shifts from what can I get to what can I give, you transform your entire energetic signature. Your actions become magnets for opportunities that align with your generosity. You become a conduit for positive energy. This is a journey of deep inner work, for you cannot give from an empty cup. It requires cultivating a profound sense of self-worth and emotional autonomy, so that your giving is not a means to an end, but an authentic overflow of your own abundance. This act of conscious giving is what makes a person irresistible, because it reveals a powerful truth, that they do not need anything from the outside world, because they are already full from within. Part 7. The final legacy. The culmination of this entire journey is the realization that your legacy is not what you accomplish, but who you become. The final key is the acceptance that you are not just a physical being with a to-do list. You are an energetic blueprint, and your life is an ongoing masterpiece. Your impact is the ripple effect of your light, touching everyone you meet in ways you may never know. The most unforgettable people are those who leave a feeling in our hearts, a sense of inspiration that lingers long after they have left the room. They didn't achieve this through a single action, but through the consistent vibration of their authenticity, their courage, and their unwavering commitment to growth. They prove that it is possible to live a life of meaning and purpose without compromising your essence. This journey of becoming someone of high value is a quiet, personal one. It is a daily decision to choose self-respect over people-pleasing, to choose stillness over noise, and to choose authenticity over image. It is a path of constant evolution, where you are always refining your energy, expanding your consciousness, and deepening your connection to your true self. When you fully embrace this, you no longer need to seek validation or recognition. You become your own source of worth, Your presence becomes so powerful that people simply feel it, and your actions become so aligned that they create an impact that transcends words. You become a living example of a universal truth, that the greatest power is not found in what you do, but in the calm, unwavering certainty of who you are. Your journey is your legacy. The person you have become is the message you leave behind. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more light. It needs more people who are unafraid to shine brightly, not for attention, but because it is who they are. So are you ready to stop being an option, and to become a force of nature, a force so powerful, so authentic, and so full of light, that you simply cannot be forgotten? The choice is yours. The journey begins now. The final part. The ultimate expression of self. We've journeyed through the keys to becoming an unforgettable person, mastery of your presence, the power of silence, and the resonance of authenticity. But the ultimate expression of these principles is not a set of skills you acquire, it is a profound shift in your very being. It is the moment when these keys are so deeply integrated into who you are, that they cease to be strategies and simply become your nature. This is when the chase ends, and the life you desire begins to unfold effortlessly. You are no longer trying to create your reality, you are inhabiting it. This is the fundamental difference between striving and living. Striving comes from a place of lack, a feeling that you need to push against the world to get what you want. Living from a place of high vibration is the opposite. It is a state of deep trust that what is meant for you will find you, and that the only work you must do is to remain in alignment with your own light. Your energy in its purest form is the blueprint for your life. The universe doesn't respond to your requests, it responds to your energetic signature, the sum total of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. When you consistently cultivate an energy of gratitude, self-worth, and purpose, you become a perfect match for experiences that reflect that high frequency. This is not magic, it is the law of resonance in action. You become a magnet, not because you are trying to be, but because your frequency is powerful and clear. This shift from chasing to attracting is a journey of profound self-respect. It's the conscious decision to stop putting yourself in situations that diminish your energy or force you to prove your worth. You no longer need to be the loudest voice in the room to be heard, because your presence speaks for you. You don't need to compete for a spotlight, because your inner light is so bright, it illuminates the space you occupy. This is where true power lies, in the quiet, unwavering certainty of your own value. When you live from this place, your interactions with others are transformed. You don't seek validation, you give it. You don't need to be accepted, you accept others as they are. This emotional autonomy makes you a safe and powerful presence for everyone around you. People are not just drawn to you, they feel inspired by you. You become a beacon of possibility, a living example of what happens when a person truly honors their own journey and cultivates their inner world. The ultimate goal is not to accumulate a list of achievements or to be remembered for what you did, but to be remembered for who you are. The most unforgettable people are those whose very being had an impact on us, who changed how we saw the world just by being themselves. Their power was in their authenticity, their integrity, and their profound self-awareness. They were living proof that you can be everything you are meant to be without ever having to apologize for it. This final stage of the journey is one of surrender. It is surrendering the need to control the outcome and trusting the process. It is surrendering the old stories of unworthiness and embracing the truth of your inherent value. It is surrendering the fear of being seen and allowing your light to shine fully. When you make these surrenders, you are no longer just living, you are embodying a force of nature. Because in the end, it's not about how many likes you get, how much money you make, or how many people know your name. It's about the quality of the energy you bring to every moment. It's about how you carry yourself when no one is watching, how you respond to a challenge, and how you choose to show up in the world. It's about building a foundation of self-worth so solid that it is unshakable, regardless of external circumstances. Your power is not out there waiting to be found. It is inside you, waiting to be expressed. The journey we've been on together from presence to purpose is simply the path to uncovering that power. It's a path of becoming, of shedding what no longer serves you, and stepping into the truest version of yourself. The world doesn't need more people who are trying to be great. It needs more people who are great, who are living their truth so fully that it gives others permission to do the same. You are the final key. You are the final piece of the puzzle. You don't need to be recognized. You simply are. You don't need to stand out. You have become a part of the landscape that everyone notices. You are no longer just an option. You are the standard. You are the choice. And when you fully inhabit that truth, your life transforms from a quest for validation into an effortless, powerful, and unforgettable masterpiece. You become a living embodiment of the ultimate truth that you are already enough.